A family together again after a scare thanks to a rescue that was captured on incredible video. Very early yesterday morning, a man with Alzheimer's left his home in Vassalboro.
Bitter cold and winter weather gave him severe hypothermia and frostbite, but he's now recovering thanks to a state trooper. NECN's Dustin Lekowski has the story.
I can never put words to what the video shows.
Sometimes bright light blasts into dark, frigid, near deadly places at just the right time. As the headlight beams of a Maine State police cruiser reflect off snow falling from Bernard Perry's legs, you see the start of the 82-year-old's rescue. That began,
Sir, can you hear me?
In the arms of Trooper Tyler Harrington.
It was icy. I didn't want to slip and fall with Mr. Perry in my arms.
Earlier that morning, Perry had left his home. He has Alzheimer's, wandered away, eventually falling into a ditch on the side of a road in a small central Maine town on the second day of winter.
I was in my driveway when I overheard the call, and the location was roughly 3 miles from my residence. It was 16 degrees when I left my house, so I knew if in fact Mr. Perry was outside, time was not on our side.
So Harrington drove, found one of the few people out that hour, a plow driver who had seen a man walking alone earlier.
I asked him to bring me to the nearest location where he had last seen the individual walking. I simply got out of my car, shined a spotlight into the ditch, and located Mr. Perry. As I approached Mr. Perry, I had hollered out, "Sir, can you hear me?" And he had made a noise back. So I knew he was alive, and I knew we didn't have much time. I needed to get him into warmth.
When Perry was in the cruiser, Harrington turned the heat as high as he could. He gave Perry a sweatshirt he had in the back. The camera on the dashboard captures an ambulance, paramedics arriving minutes later. With Perry again in Harrington's arms, he was lifted inside as ice pellets start falling. A day later, Perry is in the hospital recovering from severe frostbite and hypothermia. But his wife, his family, are in contact with Harrington by phone, grateful for the first responders who made sure their loved one is no longer missing. A family is whole in a season of bright lights shining when it's darkest.
Now we're praying for a speedy recovery. The video captures, the power of looking out for one another and the good that law enforcement does throughout this country. I think what this story has brought to me is look out for one another, look out for your neighbor, and take care of each other.
For NECN, I'm Dustin Lekowski.